My last question is, how do you make a living?
Mm. So I make a living a couple of ways, actually. I would say my very first stream of income came from social media. Like I freelance on the side and I do marketing for small business owners. Right now, shifting a lot of things, but that's my first kind of income stream. And then the second that I've been building over the pandemic is investments. So I invest heavily into crypto now, which is exciting and fun. And I started crypto bots, and yeah, it took me in a whole new world, really. And the one that me and my team are currently working on, and probably for the future in the next year or so, we're working on Nomad Soulmates, of course, which is our community for single remote workers. And we've just launched our dating app. And yeah, so we're just really listening to a lot of feedback, but that is a business. And so in the end, we're also looking to how to monetize it. Yeah.
Sweet. It's funny because there's so many nomads that have multiple income streams, and I really like how honest you are about that. I think it's great to like also showcase like, look, this is the business I'm building and what I would like to do, but I'm building so I'm just also doing other stuff to sustain myself, and I really applaud that. So thanks for being so honest about that. And I would like to know, like, how did you started your journey? It's 7 years ago. Like, wow.
Yeah, so I was around 19 years old and I got pushed into all kind of directions, like start a university or training, but none of that really stick. And I eventually started a training. But the reason that got me really quitting that training is because around the same time I saw an article about working remotely. And that whole concept grabbed me, of course, because I immediately thought I can work online and travel. Let's do that. And through this blog, she's a business owner as well and talked about freedom. And so this whole new world started to open up for me. That's what I knew I wanted because I felt it in my bones. I felt it in my body. I was so excited about this. So there was no option B anymore. Yeah, and then I quit and started looking into becoming a virtual assistant because I had the feeling of I'm not really there yet to own a
Mhm.
business. So I wanted to see what other people are doing and help them in theirs. And that was a really good entry point for me because as a virtual assistant, you can just take the skills you already have, whether that's your language or whatever, and teach that. To my time, I learned how to build websites because I started a blog back then, and so that's the skill I sold to people. And then it crystallized a little bit more into marketing, which I'm still doing. And at the same time, because I was traveling and meeting other remote workers, I then also started meeting so many singles that inspired the idea for Nomad Soulmates, which is also around 6 years old now. So really, I started community back then in a Facebook group, and that is where I met all my teammates and people having success stories. So I realized, wow, that's really working. It would be great to do this more professionally. So really taking it as a business and building an app. However, I'm not a developer, right? So I really needed to figure out how to do this. And it took me some time. It was really challenging and it still is, but it's work I also love. It's a challenge I enjoy.
Yeah.
So with all these up and downs, it really took me quite a long time, I would say, to find the right people who you can really trust to build this with you because with 19 I had no money and the small of nomad the pool of nomads was very small, so getting investors was also not really an attractive
But
option.
also, just to say, like, getting investors for someone with like McKinsey or Accenture experience, that is difficult. So, like, it makes sense that you didn't get any investors back then because it's a whole other process. People that's the job of people, like people that are looking for investors. That's like a skill on its own.
Yeah, for sure. And but then what was really great was that I started to have this entrepreneurial side of me kicking in, and I really enjoyed this about myself as a mom. So I feel like this entrepreneurial journey, or whatever journey you're on, I think the most important thing is to really enjoy yourself while
Hmm.
doing that and enjoying these challenges and figuring out how things work. Because I remember back in school, I got, we learn things we don't need anymore later, and that really is frustrating. Um, so this was a whole nother motivation. Yeah, so this entire entrepreneurial journey started because of the community. It really was possible also to find the right answers, because oftentimes there were already experts in the community, or are experts in it, who know how to solve certain problems and so on. So that was that starting beginning of Nomad Soulmates.